So, it was official a couple days ago that I am retired. Instead of unemployed for the last decade, willfully unemployed, let's say, I am officially retired. So, congrats to me here in a couple of months. Be a refreshing change. So, it's been a long, long ride to get here, let me tell you. Traceability. That's the word today, traceability. What does that mean? Well, in a crime scene, right, traceability is what was found at the crime scene. It gets documented at the crime scene by an individual with a certain amount of trust, and it goes into an evidence bag and to court, maybe. So that's traceability. Did you know where the thing came from? You have a good idea what its use in the crime, if it was a crime, right? Might be. So that's evidence traceability. Boy, do I need a haircut still. So anything I speak to from a measurement standpoint, I'm speaking to instruments and measurements that are done to standards set by international standards organizations. So for America, any of my instruments speak is referenced through the National Institute of Standards or Technology. They, their research, their knowledge, their common understanding defines how every instrument that we use works, what it does, how precise it can be, from a simple Geiger counter, from a simple multimeter. A ruler, the ruler that you buy at the store, is actually traced back to these international global standards that were developed using the sciences. So any instrument I speak to, I can go back through the paths, the proofs for how the instrument works, what it does, and to some aspects, what it can tell us. When you get into chemical sciences, it gets much more confusing for me, and that's not something I can speak to very well. But in the measurement sciences, when I speak to these, when any professional speaks to what an instrument does, it is based on decades, decades of research and studies and testing to make sure that whatever the instrument does is applicable, works, has meaning. These are sciences built on, since before books were invented. This was the scratching about colors and rainbows and optical things, about the science of making pottery, the art of making pottery and other arts. These are learned things built upon over tens of thousands of human years. Nothing poof. There was no instant spontaneous miracle that occurred here. This was a slow, long, methodical process of probabilities. So again, any instrument professional, the profession is called metrology. That's an archaic word in our English language, but in Europe it is a trusted science, a valued member of the scientific community, because it defines what, where, how well we can measure. Now we're measuring out into parts per billion and trillion now. That's 9 to 12 zeros with very high accuracy. Now, what is 1 in a billion? The head of a pin has a billion elements a billion molecules on the tip of that pen, and one of those billion could be a subatomic particle of some sort, or maybe 10 of those billion. This is the what builds the stochastic nature of the life we live. It's what gives us free will to make mistakes. They're bounded. You can only make mistakes that are possible. So enjoy the fruits of our labors, the cell phone that we record on, and realize that people built these. People change, people do better. That's how we got this far.